Duncan back again from McRae's Window Cleaning. This is part 2 of my series, How to Start a Window Cleaning Business right here in Australia. And this is the follow-up to the first part, where we discussed the business model, whether it be a franchise, you're going to start from scratch with cold calling, or you're going to buy a business outright. And we discussed the motive. So what reasons are you getting into this? Is it your full-time gig or just a side hustle? So we're going to take this next part of the video series from the angle that this is your full-time gig. You're going to make this a success, and you have in mind making this a 5-year project. So in this part, we're going to talk about the setup and registration, all the paperwork and red tape that is so important to get done early. Don't try and catch up down the track. So we're going to talk about setting up your ABN, your Australian business number. We're going to look at registering for GST, what kind of accounting and invoicing software you're going to use, and why it's of value to have a bookkeeper to help out. So firstly, ABN. The laws in Australia are that if you set up as a sole trader or a partnership, a company, family trust, you need to be registered with the government. The only time that's excluded is if you're going to just operate as a name. So my business, we might call it Duncan McRae, but it doesn't tell anybody what the business is about. It's literally a label. That's the only time you don't have to register. The moment you put a trade or service in the name, as I've done, McRae's Window Cleaning, it needs to be registered. You can't set up a bank account, a business bank account, unless you have a business registration. They want to see your ABN. So go and do it. You can register for 3 years for around about the $100 mark, and it's worthwhile because you can register your name. That's yours. Anyone else in the area can't use that name. So it might be Trend Window Cleaning, Sparkles Window Cleaning, whatever it is. Go and register it with the Australian Business Registrar, and then you can use that ABN on your marketing. And it's important to get that because you'll want to put that on your business cards, on your invoices, so that people see that you're a legitimate business. People have asked me, do you have an ABN? Are you registered for GST? They want to see that they're dealing with someone who's not a fly-by-nighter, who's a legitimate business. So go and get that done first. Secondly, you need to make a decision as to whether you're going to register for GST. You only can collect GST if you're registered. You can only claim for GST that you've paid on petrol, fuel for your car, equipment that you've bought, your mobile phone bill, various other things that you use in your business. You can only claim that GST back if you're registered for GST. Now, you don't have to register for GST if your turnover is beneath $75,000. I'm sure that you're going to want to turn over much more than that. So do it first up. Whether you're a sole trader, partnership company, register for GST, discuss that. You can get that organised through your accountant, and it's quite an easy process. And that way then you can include that as part of your accounting. You can then claim that as part of your accounting and invoicing software. So that's an important aspect. Now, what will help you with all of those things is do some research on the website for the Australian Tax Office, or make an appointment to discuss your situation with one of their consultants. Very, very good to do that because it helps you to understand the paperwork, the red tape that you need to go through so that your business is legitimate. You don't want to have to deal with issues later on. Get them done early. Now that brings us to a third area, which I think is so important, and that is the accounting software that you're going to use. Back in the day, we used to use journals. We moved that to a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, which had all sorts of cool formulas built into it. And that calculated the GST, and it calculated what we'd spent on business, and it helped the tax accountant work out our tax. But it took a bit of work getting those formulas right. Nowadays, we pay a subscription for an invoicing and accounting software. 3 years ago, I used an app that was very successful called ProBooks. It works both on desktop and on an app on your phone. It cost me $4 American per month as a subscription, and it worked very well to invoice and to quote, and so I could send the invoices, send the quotes, and it linked to Stripe payments so that you can collect payment from clients with their credit card. We've since moved to a better system. We trialed a year ago both MYOB and Xero accounting software to see which would work for our business model. Hands down, Xero was superior. Not only their backup service, but particularly Xero has a component to it that MYOB at the time did not. They may have changed, but they have quoting and invoicing built in and synced to your accounts. That's crucial because you can go to a job, get their email address from the client, you can email off the quote, convert that to an invoice when they accept the job. They can pay you by credit card. It's seamless and it syncs in with the account system. So there's a lot of work that is alleviated, a lot of paperwork that's alleviated. You don't have to carry invoice books and things like that. And everything is then saved into the cloud. Which brings us to a fourth area that I want to raise with everybody. The importance, no doubt all of you, you're thinking, okay, I've got an accountant who does my tax. Now that I'm going into business, I'm going to use that same accountant. Generally, accountants cost a lot more to interact with and do business with than a bookkeeper. And the value of having a bookkeeper is that they can look after the month-by-month activities. They can monitor your ins and outs, get all the software, the invoicing and accounting software working. And they can also handle your business activity statement at the end of each quarter. They can forward things then to your tax accountant, who'll finalize your tax at the end of each financial year. I have the privilege or the benefits of being married to a bookkeeper, so she looks after all of that. But you can work out a good deal with a bookkeeper who spends, a couple of hours each week, and you can then do a direct debit payment to that bookkeeper. And she keeps an eye on the books, reconciles the bank accounts, and keeps all those things up to date. So all you have to do as the business owner is go out and make money. The last thing you want to do when you've had a busy week is to come home and be bogged down with all the paperwork. So get yourself a really good accounting system, spend the money on a bookkeeper, and that will allow you to just do what you do best, and that's running the business and making money. So I hope those four things, I want you to, let's just review them. Firstly, register with the Australian Business Registry, your company business, your business name, whether it be a partnership or company. Get your ABN. Secondly, consider highly registering for GST. Get that all sorted through your accountant. Third, make sure you have the best accounting software. And if you can incorporate in that your invoicing and quoting, it will save you so much drama. And lastly, think seriously about having a bookkeeper who will do some of the month-to-month activities which will help you with your tax system, paying your GST, getting all the accounts in order. Now, to wrap all that up, one important aspect that you have to think about too with regard to getting paperwork done is please don't forget to get the proper insurance for your business. Public and products liability insurance is crucial for us who are working with glass. Now, in Australia, you can go to bizcover.com.au and they will do a comparison of business insurance for small business. Over 23 years, I've done a lot of research. I've researched different companies and what they have and what products they provide, etc. Hands down, the best one, and the one that I've been with the majority of the time, is GIO. I've made 3 claims in that period of time. Seamless activity, no problems at all. They have a great product for public liability, start with a minimum of $10 million. Some shopping centres won't allow you in the door unless you've got a minimum 10 million. Make sure it's got a good products liability of the same amount. If you have some problem go wrong where a piece of glass is broken, you don't want to have issues. You want to be able to get that fixed, the insurance cover it, and you get on with life. And lastly, make sure you have your bank account setups work well. I recommend that you have a credit card for your business, exclusive for your business. Don't do all the dinners with your wife and your holidays. Just use a business credit card. Westpac has a good setup for that. A business everyday account where all the transaction money is going in from all your clients, they pay your bills, goes into that account. And thirdly, have an account where you siphon off at the end of each month the GST you've collected into that account. Then at the end of the quarter, when your bookkeeper says you've got to pay this much, after offsetting your GST that you've paid, here's what you've got to send to the government. There's no stress as to where the money's coming from. You've got it in the bank, you pay it, get on with running your show. Get on with making money, get on with making your business a success. So it's so important to have that structure in place, because that way a lot of the stresses that are involved with the paperwork, the red tape, are alleviated. As I said, you don't want to be coming home at the end of the busy week and have to immerse yourself in paperwork. Let someone else do it, outsource it to a bookkeeper, have the right digital platforms to help you to accomplish that. So in our video next time, I want to talk about how you can use digital platforms for marketing, the value of having a website, and using digital platforms to source work if you're starting from scratch and you're building your own business because of the model that you've set up. So I hope that information's helped you today, and I hope that helps you to work through all of the difficulty, all the government stuff, all the important red tape stuff that makes a business sometimes a pain, but it's also very vital for your business to succeed. So hope to catch up with you the next time. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.